Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help us all get focused on what's going right in the world.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, cleaning your kitchen-worthy podcast. Today is Wednesday, the 19th of January, 2022. Kristy, I have to tell you, I love telling my smart speaker to find the Optimist Daily Update podcast while I'm doing household chores.
Good.
You or Ariel or Carissa all help me do laundry and clean my kitchen. But I have to say, it is kind of weird and funny to be able to tell the smart speaker to find your own voice. It's, I love my smart speaker whose name I shall not mention because we know how that worked out when we interviewed our guest who the smart speaker was named after. But, it's very helpful to have all of this technology that helps us find podcasts and whatnot. But it is a bit surreal to be listening to our podcast on my smart speaker. But, I like technology.
Well, it's a tool that can be used for many things, both positive and negative. And so I think technology is wonderful. Our lives are made so much easier often.
So other than your smartphone, what one piece of technology could you not live without?
Electric light is the one thing I definitely don't want to ever give up.
Oh, you're going back to basics.
Hey, that's one of the technologies that's transformed the world.
You're right. It has. It's ruined everyone's circadian rhythms and allowed us to be much more productive.
On the other hand, I think I could probably live without my smartphone.
Yeah.
It's actually been a bit of a challenging distraction to stay away from at times for me.
Gosh, you went like OG technology there. I was thinking, could I live without my smart speaker, or could I live without my pressure cooker or Coco Melon TV? I don't know. Well, speaking of human technology, are there stories on the Optimist Daily that you would like to talk about today?
There are. Do you want me to start with mine?
I think you should.
Okay. So the headline that I'm highlighting on today's podcast reads, "Rapidly retrofitting old buildings is key for climate goals. Here's how to do it." Buildings account for 40% of annual global carbon emissions, even as they stand now and as they are being built. And so in order to meet climate goals, every single building on the planet is going to have to be net zero by 2050. And most of the buildings that are right now in existence are going to still be here. So there's so many things that really ought to happen, and we should start now in terms of retrofitting those older buildings to cut energy use and to replace outdated equipment such as gas furnaces, gas water heaters, and things which have a negative impact on our overall carbon emissions.
We love historic buildings and we love preserving the richness and diversity of architectural history. And this story actually points out that in Europe, the number stands at 15,000 houses per day, or over the next 30 years, required to retrofit and achieve the goal of net zero. And in this bid to ensure the target is actually met, there's a dive into a Dutch nonprofit called Energy Sprong, which translates into energy jump, that's developing solutions that can enable home retrofits on a really massive scale. Kristy, what are they doing to make this possible?
Well, they are working with another company that creates lightweight insulated panels. And these are factory-made items so they can be mass-produced and installed onto existing facades. And that company is called RC Panels. I'm sure there'll be other companies that get enrolled in this as well, with Energy Sprong and other organizations that are going to get busy retrofitting these old homes on a massive scale throughout Europe and eventually other parts of the world. By creating these facade panels that can be applied after the fact, you can sort of measure with a laser as a scanning tool and then cut them out in a factory and lowers the costs, increases the speed, and then they can be integrated into the old buildings. In addition, they can create roofing panels, kind of like what we were talking about with GAF energy here in the US, that can be attached to older roofs, creating the net energy savings, which are tremendous. In addition, finding vendors that can supply heat pumps for heating and cooling and hot water, trying to replace those energy hog gas furnaces, for example, with more efficient, newer models, and coordinating all of these different systems kind of in a plug and play installable manner to save on labor and labor costs will be what the goal of this particular organization is doing. Energy Sprong has retrofitted more than 5,700 homes in the Netherlands, which in some cases has decreased the energy use of those houses and apartments by nearly 80%.
That's amazing.
And every watt of energy that's not used, it's like double the amount of, the benefit pays back, right? And then on those homes with the new solar panels covering the remaining energy use, those homes then become net zero. They become their own little energy islands, no longer being a drag on the entire grid. And that's the idea, that's the concept that is being explored in this case. And it's now expected to be adopted in other parts of the world, including the UK, France, Germany, and here in the United States. So this is just one example of a organization that's trying to solve this problem, come up with practical solutions to allow us to do these retrofitting on a large scale across the world.
Well, I like that it's a combination of sort of just-in-time manufacturing, right? Individually laser cut. You take the basic tools and then you fit them modularly. So it's just-in-time meets modular housing all coming together to reduce the overall production waste and increase efficiency. I'm still so excited by that story last week about the solar roof tiles from GAF, which you just referenced. And the more and more of these that are coming out, it's really, really exciting. I like the idea that we can preserve some of the architectural beauty of these older buildings without needing to sort of raise everything and just build efficient properties in their place. So I like it. It's giving me some building ideas.
So speaking of going back to basics, what's your story about?
Well, yes, we are going back to some basics with mine. And I think I'm on this beat this week because I've noticed a lot of food waste in my own life. My headline reads, "This market is tossing use-by dates to help curb food waste." Now, the British supermarket Morrisons has decided to remove use-by dates on milk packaging in order to save millions of pints of milk from being needlessly thrown away each year. Kristy, what do you throw away more often than not? What's your biggest food waste?
Honestly, my husband loves to cook, and he loves to cook massive amounts of food. He grew up very poor. So his idea of really cooking is having lots of food. And so what we end up throwing away mostly is like the sauces that he makes, because they're really only good for about a week and I'm not super partial to them. So it's leftovers. I really try to incorporate old vegetables into like making soups. I hate throwing away food. I really do. I think I'm like reincarnated from somebody from the Great Depression or something.
Likewise, leftovers are a big challenge in our house. But I have noticed also that beverages do get thrown away. And the story continues that the UK chucks about 330,000 tons of usable milk every year, which according to numbers from 2018 provided by WRAP, Food Waste Charity, is about 7% of the nation's total production. So they're literally pouring 7% of the nation's total production down the drain, those poor cows. Most of the wasted milk is disposed of within the home, making it the third most wasted food in the UK, championed only by potatoes and bread.
Oh, I've read somewhere that we throw away so much coffee. That's another thing that gets tossed all the time. Because you make a whole pot of coffee, you have 2 cups, right? You dump the rest of your pot. I've gone to smaller servings of that to avoid that kind of waste. Or you store it or you save it and then you just reheat it and that's.
And then you have like a fridge full of drink later cold coffee. Well, Kristy, this is the simplest solution and I love it. Morrisons is asking their customers to check milk by holding the bottle to their nose. If it smells sour, then it's likely spoiled. Customers may also look to see if the milk has curdled by seeing if lumps have formed. Keeping milk cool and securely cold as much as possible can help extend its shelf life. This is so funny because I feel like I'm reading a Saturday Night Live headline, right? Smell your milk. Does it smell bad? Don't drink it.
I mean, I kind of have this feeling that some of the expiration dates are kind of not worth the ink they're printed with. And it's all about getting you to throw things away and buy new things,
Right.
which is not necessarily necessary. On the other hand, it's good to have a guideline. So I use those as a guideline, not a rule. I don't always throw anything away as long as it smells all right. For milk, yeah, that makes sense. Yogurt, same thing, right? But this is a really interesting strategy.
Morrison has already removed use-by dates on some of their home brand yogurts and hard cheeses back as far as 2020. And Wrap's chief executive Marcus Gover is quoted as saying, "I'm delighted that Morrison's is the first in the UK supermarket to take this important step to help reduce household food waste. Shows real leadership, and we look forward to more retailers reviewing date labels on their products and taking action." So maybe that cheese isn't bad.
Cut off the mold and eat the center. That's what I always do. And dietitians out there are going to be going, no, no, no. But I'm still here and I have a good immune system. So
yes, I think you're right. We also have some other great stories on the Optimist Daily today. A headline reads, "The Philippines bans child marriage to help stop child abuse, using rubber to create safer, longer-lasting EV batteries. Ketamine is an effective tool in treating alcoholism. Snacking on this food will curb your sugar cravings, according to a dietitian." Wonder what food that is.
There's a circular leather alternative, which is made from algae and peels. Check that out. IKEA has bought land ravaged by hurricane in Florida to transform it into forests. Check out the biggest, most detailed ever 3D map of the universe. This is actually pretty cool with new technology and looking at space. And finally, the population of Ugandan tree climbing lions is growing. Yay for those lions.
I just see all those lions climbing up in the trees, laughing away.
Haha, laughing lions. I like it. All right, everybody, that's it for today's Optimist Daily update. Thank you so much, as always, for listening to us, waxing on and off about these fascinating stories about positive solution-based ideas on how we can all participate in changing the world and ensure it is changed for the good. We promise to keep covering current events with accurate, legitimate sources and offering you the kind of information we all need to chart new paths for all of us.
Now, everybody, it is getting toward the end of the month, and that's when I put pressure on everybody in our sales team to hustle emissary memberships. But the reason we do that and the reason we ask you to become an emissary is because we are reader-funded independent journalism, and we need your support. So please consider becoming an emissary on the optimistdaily.com, and for as little as just $5 a month, support reader-funded independent journalism. We're less than a cup of coffee, including the one you just threw away this morning. Be part of the solution, changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Help us keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who can. Thanks, everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow with more solutions.